Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Let's see, Laverne Showers, thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you so much for being here. So happy to be a part of the Sussex community. I'm so glad you are here. I'm so glad you are here. Thank you so much, and thank you for the super sticker. Greatly appreciate it. So let me see who was here first. Okay, I'm going back. Wow. Mary H., thank you so much for being here first, and thank you for being here most days. Um, Very, very much appreciated. Okay, so let's get on with it, shall we? I'm gonna hide my face here. And so, Harry and Meghan news, as per usual. Spare. Couple more things about Spare. I mean, it's the end of the year, and people are looking back and reflecting on what an amazing year it has been for the publishing community. Mike Tindall is Willy's new brother. The Crown season 6 is worse than you thought it was. It's the worst ever. I'll explain. Church Nelly, Baron, don't start none, won't be none. Amen to that. And thank you so much. 28 months? I just don't know how that's possible. 28 months. Thank you so much, Church Nelly. And Elaine Parker, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for being a member of Royal Sussex. All right. So, Church Nelly, are you all done with your holiday parties and get-togethers and and hiring those exotic dancers? Okay, let me move on here. Okay, so I don't think we'll be much longer than an hour. I said that yesterday, and it was 2.5 hours. Spare, the amazing book by Prince Harry, the best-selling nonfiction book of all time, very soon will be recognized by the Guinness Book of Records if they haven't done that as of yet. But remember, I believe it was January 10th that this Spare came out, so it is going to approach that 1 year mark in just a couple weeks, and some people will be celebrating. I know I will. So right here, it says Prince Harry's tell-all memoir was the Ottawa Public Library's most popular book this year, according to new statistics. Spare by Prince Harry was released on January 10th, 2023. 4 days after the release, the Ottawa Public Library reported 1,831 holds for a print copy of the 416-page book. It is no surprise that Spare, the tell-all memoir by Prince Harry, has topped OPL's most requested list this year. The Ottawa Public Library said in a media release released in the very early days of 2023, this story of riches, royalty, and family drama has had people reading all year long. The Ottawa Public Library's list of most popular books are based on statistics between January 1st and December 1st. Okay, so they don't even count the month of December. So January 1st to December the 1st, it's 11 months, right? Those 11 months are what they use to establish the most read or most held book. So again, another honor for Harry to have been counted as the number one book, Spare. Hello, Judy Matasset, Anastasia, Cookies and Cream. Lydia Washington is here. Aniki G, thank you. Patty Askew. Beasley, 23, thank you for being here. Okay, so here are the top 10 adult English books from the Ottawa Public Library of 2023. Spare by Prince Harry, this and that, and so and so, and such and such. And then go all the way down to number 9, Meet Me by the Lake by Carly Fortune. That name is familiar, right? Meet Me by the Lake. That is the book that Harry and Meghan, the executive producers from the Archwell production, that is the book that they have optioned to make a movie out of. So very soon, now that the strike is over, they can start getting that movie into production. And it is going to be an awesome movie because the book is amazing, they say. So if the screen adaptation is anything like the book, it should do rather well. Now, the premise of the book, let's see, Meet Me by the Lake. Let's see. Okay, it says, okay. She spent just 24 hours in her early 20s with a aggravatingly attractive, idealistic artist, a chance encounter that spiraled into a day-long adventure in Toronto. The timing was wrong, but their connection was undeniable. They shared every secret, every dream, and made a pact to meet once. 1 year later, Fern shows up. Will didn't. Ooh. So anyway, that is the premise of the book. At 32, Fern's life doesn't look at all how she once imagined it would. Instead of living in the city, Fern, back home, running her mother's Musaka Lakeside Resort, something she vowed never to do. The place is in disarray. Her ex-boyfriends, the manager, and Fern doesn't know where to begin. She needs a plan, a life. Okay, it says here, to her surprise, it comes in the form of Will, who arrived 9 years too late. Ooh, don't that sound good? With a suitcase in tow and an offer to help on his lips, Will may be the only person who understands what Fern is going through. I don't know if I like that name, Fern. Anyway, but how could she possibly trust this expensive suit wearing mirage who seemed nothing like the young man she met all those years ago? Will is hiding something, and Fern's not sure she wants to know what it is. But 10 years ago, Will Baxter rescued Fern. Can she do the same for him? Ooh, that sounds like a good book. That sounds like a good book. I now I want to read the book. Now I want to read that book. Interesting. I love the premise of it. Yeah, I love it. That sounds so Harry and Meghan, I think. Toronto. Remember, they were living by that lake in British Columbia, was it? After they left Narnia, they went to Canada. So all of this sounds kind of, I'm getting a, geographically, I'm getting that Harry and Meghan vibe. So, um, should be interesting. So, has anybody read the book, or do you think you might want to read it? Oh, Lottie says, I was thrilled to know that the media didn't make a dime off of Harry and Meghan for Christmas. Me too. Me too. Margaret Rollin, thank you so much for being here. Emerald Derrick. Let me see who else is here. Nash Singby wants to say hi to a few people. Meet Me by the Lake. Let's see. That book sounds like a movie I watched with Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves. The Lake House, right? That was a great movie. And I believe that the house that was featured in the Lake House, I think that house didn't actually exist, right? But anyway, the house wasn't that like designed by the character played by Keanu Reeves? I think he was an architect or something like that. That was a really good movie. So if you guys haven't seen The Lake House, I think that's the name, right? That is a really great movie, and I don't know why this movie. The premise of it is very different, but in some ways, because of the whole idea of meeting at the lake, it just reminds me of that story. But ooh, I won't even tell you about the lake house. But you know what, I could watch that again. I thought that was a great movie. Let's see. Baron, the book sounds interesting. I'd say it does. Hmm. Let me see. I read the book. It was very good. Bones and a. Oh, it has very good bones, and a good screenwriter can make it big. Okay, thank you. Wow, you know the whole industry lingo there. I like that. uh, okay. Oh, okay. Marcia Ware received the book for Christmas, is going to read it soon. Very good. Let us know. Please let us know. I had a great Christmas with my family, you guys. I really did. And I got so much food. I got so much food and everything, so I won't have to shop for a while. Well, let me see what else. Yeah, and my sister got me a set of pans. Some of those new, like that new nonstick, I guess is got that little pattern cut into it. So I can't wait to use that to see how it works. Um, but yeah, it's going to be really really fun doing that. And then if someone sent something from the wish list, I know I have something that I need to pick up later this week, so I will do that. And thank you in advance for anything that you may have selected from the official Royal Sussex wish list. Greatly appreciate it. Um, and by the way, I don't know if J Matt is here, but J Matt mentioned sending me some souvenirs, so that's why I'm saying J Matt's name. But right now, I am sipping from my Texas, the Lone Star State coffee mug. Really cool. I like that Texas flag. It is uh, highly stylistic, very simplistic in its design, and yeah, it's very cool. I like it. Okay. Let's go on then, okay? Let's keep it moving. Oh, let's see. Bear and I had a great Christmas in Australia, but then we experienced severe storms and were without electricity for 2 days. I'm so sorry to hear that. I am so sorry to hear that. But I hope it didn't ruin everything too bad or at all, really. I mean, being without power kind of forces people to talk to. Oh yeah, I can see where that could be a problem. No, but yeah, I hope it brought everyone closer together. I hope so. Uh, Let me see here. Okay, and it's funny. I had someone bought me, one of my relatives bought me the mother load of coffee. I won't have to purchase for a little while. I was running out, so I'm so glad to have that. And yeah, so that was definitely in time because I had to break down and buy some the other day because I had run low, and now I got enough to last me for some time. So looking forward to it. Okay, let's go on then. So, how Mike Tindall became the brother Prince William needs. Their backgrounds are strikingly different, but the two share an affectionate relationship that abandons all formality. You know what? You guys, please let it go. Please let it go. the royal family has been bending over backwards because of the accusations made, and I believe them to be true, of how frigid and icy and cold they are to everything and everybody, that they are not by nature very affectionate people. And so when I say bending over backwards, I don't mean like, William bending over backwards. As a matter of fact, I'd be afraid to see William bend over backwards. Let me see. How long did that take? 18 minutes, 6 seconds, and already I done dropped some shade. Yeah, I don't want to see William bend over backwards. As a matter of fact, him bending over backwards, um, I don't know if I'm old enough to see that. But anyway, I digress. Oh, bring on the shade. There ought to be shade. Well, that's why I'm here. Okay. One was raised in West Yorkshire, the son of a social worker, mother, and banker father, a self confessed binge drinker. He eschewed, what is that? Eschewed university for a sporting career and once knocked back a concoction of blended pigs wee wee on reality television. Ooh. The other is a firstborn son of the king who split his childhood between a palace in London and a country estate in Gloucestershire. Eton educated, he went on to study at the University of St. Andrews, is apparently not cut out of heavy, not cut out for heavy drinking, and is yet to appear on ITV Gross Out show. So on an ITV Gross Out show. And so, of course, they're speaking of Willy. Now, what brought this on is because Meghan mentioned that she tried to embrace Kate when they first met, when they invited them over to Nottingham Cottage, and Kate kind of stood there frozen, you know. Okay, I can't verbally describe Kate's body language, but I think I can show you. That was Kate. William trying to be all tough, and Kate as stiff as an emery board. Okay, that was their first meeting, and of course, Meghan was taken back by this because, being from California, she was barefoot in her ripped jeans and cooking. She thought they were just going to come over for dinner, right? She didn't know that this was supposed to be some formal gathering. Um, Harry instructed Meghan early on, you don't curtsy to anyone but the Queen and my father. Aside from that, no one else in the family. Got it? Got it. So I suppose Kate and Willy was expecting Meghan to stand on ceremony with them, and that was just not in the cards. It was not required, and Harry did not mention it. So Meghan assumed that the public face of the royal family was a lot of curtsying and all that kind of stuff, but behind closed doors, she thought they would be more relaxed. Well, they were not. Kate was trying to be grand and posh and probably mumbling, and William was, act like he had a something up his butt. Anyway, it did not go well. It did not go well, and so it was a very frigid first meeting that they had in comparison to other people in the family. That the first senior royal they met was the Queen, and then after that, I believe it was Charles and Godzilla, and then if if I'm correct about the order, then Willy and Mumbles. So that did not go well. And then, of course, Harry spoke about the lack of affection, the lack of 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 touch from that family. The grandmother who traveled the world for 6 months and then came home and shook her child's hand, a 6 year old shook his hand in front of the public. That was the way Charles was raised. Charles, who told Harry that his mother died mysteriously in a tunnel in Paris, and rather than hold him and embrace him, he put his hand on his thigh, told him the bad news, and then left. And so for hours, Harry was left there alone in his thoughts about his mother, who he would never see again. So that is the affectionate Windsor family for you. So just yesterday, just yesterday, they're trying to be more human. So yesterday, where is it? I'm looking for it. Pardon me for going through. Oh, there it is. There it is. Just yesterday, affectionate King, that is shown embracing his grandchildren during coronation rehearsal in tender extracts from new documentary, in stark contrast to the loveless, no hugs, no kisses, no pats rules Harry described in his memoir. So again, this is all a reaction to Harry's declaring and Meghan declaring that these are some standoffish people, right? Harry would know because he's lived in that family his whole life. And Meghan, well, much to her surprise, it was, Americans are considered very pushy and very loud and definitely very touchy feely. And so that was something that really ran counter of the type of experience that Willie and Kate was willing to, deal with, especially on that first meeting. So it did not go well. Now, as usual, here at Royal Sussex, we always try to be fair, and we did reach out to Kensington Palace for comment.
Well, obviously, I would love to have met her, and she's obviously she's an inspirational woman to look up to, obviously to this day, and going forward and things. It is, it's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot, and very inspirational. So yeah, I do.
Okay. Thank you. Your dullness. We appreciate your comment. So let's fast forward to Christmas Day. And there's Mike Tindall. He's embracing the future King George. George is seen rather awkwardly smiling, right? This probably caught him off guard. Maybe he doesn't know Mike Tindall that well. Maybe he does. I don't know. And then, of course, Uncle Mike with George. I'm dying of love, and there are still people who doubt about the closeness and loyalty between the Tindalls and the Welleses. Well, that's what someone had tweeted about that exchange. And then it reminded me of Mike Tindall's tender embrace of the future king, Willy the Terrible. As you can see there, Willy and Mike seem to be rather fond of each other, right? Nothing implied, just rather fond of each other. So apparently, Mike Tindall is very affectionate. He's like a bear. He's all over people, and there he is, with his arm around the future king, holding that teddy bear, which probably came from a well-wisher and everything. So you know what? Fine. But they're making a big deal out of this because they have been caught out and they don't like it. And right here, you can see exactly how far that embrace has gone. Do 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 ah, do 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 ah. What's your name? Ah. Who's your daddy? Ah. Is he rich? Is he someone like me? Ah. You know what I mean? It was a little awkward. And there's Zara, kind of don't know where to go or what to do. And it was okay. I mean, this is fine. But when it got to the point where Willie began to dig his nails into Mike Tindall's back, and notice how that smile all of a sudden became very serious. One look, one touch, words just don't say enough when you fall in love. Suddenly it's magic. I feel so free. It's like a fantasy when you fall in love. Suddenly it's magic. Yes, William was feeling a little magic. I mean, I don't know when was the last time I embraced a man and dug my nails in his back. That's something that just doesn't really come up that often. You know what I mean? Unless I am dangling over a cliff or hanging out of the window of a building that is ablaze, I just don't know when that comes up. I don't know too many people that embraces their brother-in-law and dig their nails in the back. So kind of strange, but you know what they say, stay with it. Now, there was one person who was not impressed with this, and that, of course, was Jeremy Clarkson. Jeremy Clarkson wrote about this, and when he saw that embrace, actually, not the one that I just showed you, there's this one right here. Apparently, there's a very close connection between the brother in laws, and that's okay. I'm not shaming them. It's okay if they got that kind of connection. Um, you know, that's their thing, right? Do what you want to do. I can't tell you who to sock it to. Um, so Jeremy, I was up all night gnashing my teeth. Clarkson said, Jeremy Clarkson has told Prince William and Mike Tindall to get a grip. I don't, maybe I shouldn't continue. I don't like where this is going, but okay. Anyway, he told them to get a grip. After they were seen hugging last week, William and Mike shared the embrace when they went to watch Zara Tindall compete in Halton International Horse Trials in Norfolk. The family members were clearly very pleased to see each other, and they were photographed hugging each other tightly as Zara watched on. Okay, now how many times has this happened? The Clarkson Farm star has weighed in on the moment in his new column headline, Get a Grip, Chaps. It's time to bring back, oh yeah, he says, it's time to bring back the handshake. Explaining his issue, Jeremy wrote in the Sunday Times last week, Mike Tindall bumped into Prince William at some kind of event where people sit on horses, and at first, their greeting was normal. As the tradition in England, they abused one another. One said to the other something along the lines of, You're fat. And the other replied by saying, Your new shoes are terrible. But then, having got the pleasantries out of the way, they did something that until recently was not normal at all. They hugged. Jeremy states that he does not like hugging other men because he feels the sense that his situation are perilously close to theirs. Jeremy is also not keen on hugging women because he says it is. He says it is too intimate. So yes, Jeremy Clarkson doesn't like the idea. I'm trying to find a way to say this, but he doesn't like that the fronts of one fella and the front of another fella are in such close proximity. You get me? He said that's weird, and that embracing like that is rather awkward for men. Um, I mean, come on, Jeremy Clarkson, of all people, he doesn't seem like the most affectionate guy to anyone, let alone another guy, and that's his prerogative. But yeah, so he doesn't approve of it. And of course, the Queen was not a hugger. That one time when that woman of African descent hugged the Queen, I swear I saw her spirit jump out of her body. Did you guys remember that one? When the Queen had that anise horribilis, the anise horribilis year, and that black woman embraced her, and she just froze. I'm telling you, if you go back and look at that footage, you are going to see the Queen's soul try to leap out of her body in that instant. I thought it was like, it scared me really, because I'm like, oh God, we just lost the Queen. But somehow she survived. Um, but yeah, that was rather awkward. And of course, by the time she met Michelle Obama, she was a little more sophisticated about things, the Queen, that is. So she survived that one. But that first time, when that black woman put her arms around her, I'm telling you, the Queen was like just frozen. She was like a marble statue. She could not move. Everybody was like, you know, oh my goodness. But yeah, I think from that day to the next, they just would not speak of it. So that was Jeremy Clarkson's opinion about that embrace. And he wrote that article back in June of 2022. June of 2022, he felt as though they had breached some like chasm or something like that. It was just a hug. I mean, sure, the nails in his back was a bit over the top, but um, I don't have an explanation for that one. I truly don't. I'm trying to help, but that one right there, I ain't sure what to make of that one. As a matter of fact, Zara's not sure what to make of it. I'm pretty sure a lot of people were not sure what to make of it. But instead of saying get a grip, he should have told him to get a room. Anyway, and then of course, Mike Tindall's embraces are not limited to senior royals. There was also I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, where he grabbed a cup. As a matter of fact, it looked like he grabbed two cups. Um, yeah, he decided that he'd grab a cup. So instead of getting a grip, he got a cup. He got a grip on a cup, two cups. And this, of course, was beamed all over the place. Very awkward. So again, we have the awkwardness of this and this. And again, I just want to point this out to you guys in case you didn't notice. What seemed like a little tickle turned into something that seemed more, you know, was it good for you too? It seemed rather, you know what I mean? I'm trying to find the right words, but it just got awkward. That's all. It just got really awkward. But yeah. Anyway, so this caused a spot of bother for Zara Tindall, Zara the Tongue Ring Tindall was back in the UK, and this happened in, what was it, Australia? But yeah, so that was somewhat awkward. So let me take a look at a couple of your comments before I go on. Let me see here. Oh, YM Droid, how did I almost miss that? Come on, haven't we all casually dug our nails into a big, strong back, let out a gentle sigh, and asked if they'd ever sleep rough? Uh, Church Deli? Yeah, you know what, YM Droid, you have a point there. And Kat Harlem says they're cousins by marriage, not brother-in-laws. Thank you. Thank you. I kind of overlooked that. That's right. They're cousins. And you know what Elvis said about cousins, right? Elvis said that, well, anyway, there was a title of a movie, wasn't it? Elvis said something about cousins. Yeah, that's what makes it all right. Let me see. Photos before Meghan should be shown all day, every day, because are no photos of them hugging anyone. That was a rare occasion. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is all in response to Meghan. Even Princess Diana did not spur the urge to embrace, right? Diana was embracing people, and the rest of the royal family recoiled, except for Harry, of course. But then all of a sudden, because of the words from Harry, because of the words from Meghan, now they can't stop touching people. They cannot stop touching people. Baron, I don't know if there's a change coming through in an attempt for Harry to come back and to work with the media. Their tons seem to, let me see. Oh, their tone seems to be much more relaxed in speaking well of Harry and Meghan. Marjorie Austin, I shouldn't think so. Not anytime soon. It will take a long time to establish the necessary trust. And Harry is looking for an apology, or at the very least, some public acknowledgement. Now, if they're communicating through some back channels that we're not aware of, that would be interesting, but I just don't see that happening anytime soon. Um, and only because Charles is this interim king. He is not going to be on the throne that long before, you know, eventually William will be taken over. William may actually become a regent for Charles at some point. We don't know. Charles may actually do what his mother didn't have the courage to do, and that's step down at some point. You know, I would say, even though there seems to be like so much doubt about Charles stepping down, um, there's a lot of dirt. There's a lot of dirt on him, and on the whole family. Harry even said that the media has a lot of dirt on them. And you know, there's going to be that long period when there won't be much to cover. There won't be any royal weddings. The only thing that will be a state occasion will be a funeral. There'll be state dinners, of course, but aside from that, a funeral. Then there'll be the annual Troop in the Colors, Remembrance Day, the Christmas speech and such, but nothing that brings the world like a royal wedding. That is a long way off. Some of us are not going to live to see the next senior royal marry. I may very well have seen my last, you know, we just don't know. It may be, excuse me, it may be another 20 years before any of those kids marry. Charles was in his 30s. William was in his 30s, I believe. So it could be a long time. We just don't know. I mean, there'll be weddings and such, but nothing like Harry and Meghan, nothing like Diana, nothing significant. And even when it does happen, it's going to be so gosh darn boring that you know, they cut back coverage of Will and Kate's wedding. What do you think they're going to do for those kids? Especially, yeah, I don't. I think that the big media blitz, the big attention from the world, I don't think it'll come from a wedding. I think it will come from a funeral, a state funeral, and another coronation. I think that's when people will pay attention. I barely remember the Queen Mother's funeral. Um, and matter of fact, I don't remember it all. I only remember the Queen's funeral, Philip's, and of course Diana's, and that's it. So, not much to look forward to for that family. Thank you for your comment. Let me see here. So, thank you, YM Droid, and thank you, Kat Harlem. Let me see. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Nope. We're good. Very good. Thank you so much. So, all right. So, we got this situation where Mike Tindall's cup runneth over, or somebody's cup was running over. Two cups. Yeah, the only thing better than one cup is two. Let me see. Their hugs are so fake. They aren't really friends. They might tolerate each other, but come on. You never see Mike hanging out with William any other time except formal events with the family. Yeah, that's true. That's true. They seem to run in different circles. Okay, let me go on to the next one. So as you can see, like I said, Mike Tindall seems to have cupped his hands awkwardly, and these photos were beamed all over the place. Now, everybody's been saying there may be some big announcement next year. There may be some big announcement next year. Like a royal split. I doubt if it will be the Tindalls. Right after that embarrassing scene from Down Under, this is how they greeted each other. As soon as they got together, they made a big show of it. Did she fly down there, or was she? I don't know. I think she flew down there after all of that negative publicity. They wanted to reassure everyone. By the way, that's not Zara. They wanted to reassure everyone that the Tendo Phillips marriage is strong. So, Zara the tongue ring Tindall made sure that the world could see their affection on full display. It was so contrived, but it really did shut down all of the conversation about how much trouble Mike Tindall was in. So Mike Tindall is a very affectionate person. You know, he doesn't mind reaching out to whoever he is around, and that's okay. And also, Zara Tindall's husband, Mike Tindall, confirms exciting news. Well, what news could that be? You big overgrown rugby player who seems to enjoy wrestling around with men while you're wearing those short shorts and tight shirts. What news could there be? I mean, I haven't seen shorts like that since those old leg commercials. Remember that? We wear short shorts. They wear short shorts. If you can't wear short shorts, wear short shorts. I forget how that commercial go, but yeah, I haven't seen that much legs and those tight t-shirts and everything. But that's what he does. Well, he's retired from that, but that's what he used to do for a living. He used to roll around on the ground, playing rugby with all of those big, strong, burly men. Him, of course, himself being a big, burly man. And the one at the top of the photo there, that's Haskell or whatever his name is. Isn't that the one that said that Harry's not fun anymore? Well, Harry has a wife. I don't think he wants to have that kind of fun. I don't think Harry's into that kind of fun. If you all want to roll around and wrestle with each other, you know, I could understand all of this when they were playing rugby, but I don't get it now. I mean, I can understand all the embracing and sweating on each other when you were playing rugby, but now it's just weird. It is just weird. Uh oh, did he? I didn't realize that. Harry introduced Mike Tindall to his cousin Zara the tongue ring Tindall. Okay, Zara Phillips. Yeah, Zara's husband is embarrassing. Well, I mean, he's, let me tell you, the royal family is very weird. Um, in some cases, and I think what it is, they will tolerate that kind of attention when it's a man, where people are doing all that looking and, you know, you can be the court jester, you can be the class clown if you're a man. You can get all of that attention. But if it's a woman who gets too much attention, then they will persecute you. You will be crucified. That is what they did to uh, what's her name? Fergie, Diana, Meghan, right? They were persecuted for being popular. And of course, Lord Snowden, no problem. Mike Tindall, not a problem. None of these people are a problem when it's a guy that marries into that family. Let me know if you've noticed that because I think it's okay. Mike Tindall is everybody's friend in that family, and they kind of depicted that type of relationship. If you remember, um, Margaret, as it was depicted in The Crown, of course, it's all fictitious, but Margaret didn't seem to do well by being the center of attention, right? They had to turn her into evil versus good. Evil Margaret, gentle, loving, angelic Elizabeth, right? But when Tony came along, Lord Snowden, who became Lord Snowden, her husband, when Tony came along, the family loved him. Oh, they were crazy about him. Everybody loved Tony. Tony had the reputation of being a bit of a bad boy and being very, fluid, sexually fluid. And I'm wondering if that's not what I'm seeing right now. But and everybody loved Tony. Everybody loved Tony. Tony was a big hit with the family. But yeah, I think women are not tolerated for being popular and lovable. But men who marry into that family, oh, you can do whatever you want. Baron is called menopause. Unfortunately, Tin Head Tyndall has been going through it for years, or maybe second childhood. Okay. Let me see. Thank you for that, Lorna Williams. Lydia says the men get a pass for sure. Yeah, you know what? I'm telling you, I just thought about that in an instant. I'm just like, I've seen this behavior before. I mean, not exactly, but it just kind of reminds me of how the family really took to Lord Snowden when he married Margaret. I forget what his name was. Anyway, Anthony something. But yeah, everybody took to him. As a matter of fact, they liked him more than they liked Margaret. And here it's, seems to be the same thing. I'm not saying that they like him more than they like Zara. Zara seems to be popular in the family as well. But this outlandish behavior, and of course, all of this attention seeking that he does, this would not be tolerated for a woman marrying into that family. Let me see. Dansby says, I think this is a UK thing. The men there seem very affectionate. Um, you know, I no, no, not most of the men. I don't think that that's really a thing. But again, Mike Tindall can get away with this. Mike Tindall can be the clown, but I've I've met a few men from the UK, and they didn't strike me as the affectionate type. They seem very reserved. As a matter of fact, the men and women seem very reserved in comparison to the typical American. When they're younger, I'm sure that they, you know, but when they're like being that settled into their family life and everything, they are expected, especially the tops, especially the posh people, they are expected to tone it down. You have to tone it down. But for his age, Mike Tindall is a buffoon. He's a buffoon. And most men his age in the UK would not carry on like that. Even for the sports figures, I you don't see that. I mean, compare him to just about any of the men athletes in the UK, and you don't see a lot of this. So I think this is a an exceptional situation, an outlier, if you will. I don't think it's very typical, but I may be wrong. But it doesn't. Anthony Armstrong Jones. Thank you, Elaine Parker. You are a treasure. Thank you so much. I couldn't get that name out for nothing. Anthony Armstrong Jones. And do you know he is buried at some country churchyard somewhere? He is buried at a little country churchyard. I don't even know if there's any other family buried near him, which is weird. But I guess Margaret didn't feel that close to him as she just wanted to be with her parents. And Margaret, of course, Princess Margaret, being the only senior member of the royal family to have ever been cremated. That was unusual, but she lived a very unusual life. Tony had a child outside the marriage with a family friend. Oh, are you talking about Anthony Armstrong Jones? That guy? Oh, thank you, A. Will. I appreciate that as well. Huh. I feel like we're learning some things right now. Okay, Justy Siempre. If you're talking about that public school thing where there are some guys that form these relationships in public school, they bond with upperclassmen in some cases in public school, and they will have close bonds, as I say euphemistically, but when they are married and older and everything, they're expected to abandon all of that. Well, not all of them do. Some of them kind of discreetly live between both worlds. So that is not uncommon. The public school system, where, and remember, when you say public school in the UK, that's actually, ironically, it means the school for the future prime ministers and government officials and other rich, privileged people. Um, that I believe that's what public school means, which sounds weird because in the U.S., public school means that it's a public school, it's taxpayer funded. Um, and so, what do you call the regular school there? The government school? What do you call that? So, public school is for the tops, right? And then the other kind of school, which is for anyone who could afford to go, um, I forget. I forget. But yeah, it's weird that. But I think why they call it public school is because it used to be so restrictive or whatever, and then it opened up to a greater sector of the population. But once you go through that system, they pretty much brainwash you to be very obedient to the aristocracy and the crown, and not to overstep your position. Let me see. Okay. Now, as for Harry, Harry has a brother. William may have only just established his brother his family connection with Mike Tindall. But Harry has had a brother from another mother for a long, long time, and that, of course, is Nacho. Nacho is Harry's real brother. They have, you know, they have been the best of friends. They have been family to each other for quite some time. And Nacho, without fear of retribution from the media, has defied the convention of laying low, and he has spoken out on Harry's behalf on quite a few occasions, and rightly so. So you can have Mike Tyndall, you can have all those deep embraces, and you can claw his back all you want. You can watch him grabbing for cups and everything. Have at it. You can have at it, especially now that he's got his new nose. He's probably more fetching than ever before. You can have him. We'd rather have the international face of Ralph Lauren's polo for a brother. So, yeah. So there you go. There's Harry's real brother, Nacho. Nacho has been his family. He's in the absence of having William there. He's had Nacho, and it's worked out. The families have a very strong connection, and I always look forward to seeing the two of them together. It's a good thing. Okay, let me see. Oh, okay. Here's an example right here. I hope this is the right one. So yeah, I love watching the way they interact with each other. It just seems very natural, just as though they've known each other their whole lives and that they've been supportive to each other their whole lives. When Harry was at Eden, I think when he first went to Eden, William told him, "Pretend like you don't know me," and Harry was forbidden to go onto the same floor where William's dorm was located for whatever reason. So they've always had a they fought all the time. I don't think that Harry and William had ever been so close. I think Harry wanted to be close to William. He wanted to be closer to his grandmother. He really wanted to have a strong bond and connection to everyone in the family. And, he seemed to get along with his cousins rather well, but his brother, there was that. And then with his grandmother, of course, she wasn't very, tactile with anyone. So there's that. So I remember Harry said in Spare that there was so many occasions when he wanted to embrace his grandmother and he just didn't feel that he could. It wasn't a thing. It did not happen. And imagine Princess Diana coming from a broken home where her mother was pretty much ran out of town, right? And her father had custody of Diana and her sisters, I guess. But whatever the case was, Diana was a very warm, loving person, and she wanted to make sure that everyone else around her felt seen and heard and recognized. And that was just not a thing with the royal family. Now, all of a sudden, all they do is touch people, and especially if you're black. Oh, if you're black, they can't keep their hands off of you. Well, most days. Most days. So, yeah. Okay. Let me look at a couple of your comments here. Mike and Zara are comparable, that is, to the Christmas and Easter Christians who come to church 2 times a year for royal stuff. They show up only for weddings, church at Christmas, funeral. They are seldom in the tabloids. Yeah, they don't really. I don't think they make the tabloids that much for whatever reason. Mike Tindall, I guess he has a very favorable relationship with the press, and of course, anyone who seems to do well with the press, you got to wonder: are they the ones leaking things or not? Yeah, anybody that's warm and friendly with the press, you got to wonder if they're leaking information. There's always that possibility. Thank you so much for your comment. Gwendolyn Daniels says, I'm sorry, Dan's, oh, that's for someone. I'm sorry. That's not for me. Let me continue. They're like Oprah, you get a hug and you get a hug. Okay, yeah, you get a hug and you get a hug. Oh, I get it. You get a hug, you get a hug. Everybody gets a hug. Got it. Hello, Sherry Ware. Okay. Oh, yeah, I agree. She should have taken those sunglasses off. Thank you, Dansby. Yes, please subscribe. I don't really say that often, but if you have not subscribed, please make sure you are subscribed to Royal Sussex. That helps out the channel so much. Even you hate watchers, those of you who hear my voice and you just cringe, please make sure you subscribe so you can cringe day after day after day. Hate watchers, the Rangers, please make sure you are subscribed to Royal Sussex. So that way you won't miss a thing and you won't miss an opportunity to complain. I mean, I wouldn't want you to wake up and have nothing to complain about. What kind of world would that be? So please do subscribe. Yes, and we're almost at what? 49,000, right? Is it? Yeah, I think we're close to 49,000. I think it was like 48,777 when I started today. So please do subscribe. It helps out so much, and I appreciate it. So thank you, and thank you. So let's finish up here with Harry. Okay, Kat Harlem says, you noticed the British media and derangers never question or go after Nacho when he speaks up for Harry and Meghan. No, they seem to just ignore him for whatever reason. But yes, thank you, Kat Harlem. I have noticed that he hasn't seemed to have had them come after him at all. So that has not escaped my notice. Okay, and let me go back over here. So take a look at this. So yesterday, you all, I mentioned Karl Stefanovich, right? Karl Stefanovich. This is the Australian TV anchor who cruelly mocked Meghan Markle's new book. Australian news host Karl Stefanovich has mocked Meghan Markle after learning that she would be releasing a children's book inspired by Prince Harry and baby Archie. During a segment of the Today Show, Stefanovich broke into fits of laughter. He actually writes, they actually write poetry together, Stefanovich ridiculed. He also scoffed at the news that the bench will be released as an audio. The book titled The Bench will be released on June the 8th, 8th of June, 2021, and will be an illustrated story told through a mother's eyes. Okay, so, I hate reading on that black background now as my eyes are burning. But anyway, so Stefanovich, not a nice guy. He's always ragging on the Sussexes, especially Meghan. Meghan is routinely abused on some places on Australian television. I mean, it's not really a good look. It is not a good look, but they do it so often. And anyway, I mentioned yesterday that just like Dan Wooten, when he got in trouble, he decided it was Bring Your Daughter to Work Day. Remember I said that? It was Bring Your Daughter to Work Day. It was very reminiscent of where is it? Did I show that? Oh, I don't. You know what? I didn't have a picture for it yesterday. I mentioned that. Okay, here we go. Let me set it up for you. So Dan Wooten is in New Zealand right now. Happy to discover that Dan Wooten is alive and well, although it sounds like he does not foresee returning to GB News, who appeared to have fired him as it stands for no apparent reason, and while he was posting good viewing figures. So this is obviously someone who is a supporter of Dan Wooten who tweeted that. So Dan Wooten had a video, and then it was very awkward because he's with his niece, and I don't know why every time he posts something from New Zealand, every time he's in trouble and he posts something from New Zealand, there's the very awkwardness that his niece has to be part of it. And so she's there, and I covered her face because it wasn't my intention to make her the story. So, but it's all so contrived and so awkward, and I hate it. It's just like when William got in trouble for not going to the championship for the women's soccer or women's football. What does he do? He appears in that very cringeworthy video with Charlotte pulled as closely as possible, like some kind of safety blanket or like some kind of life preserver or something. Like his life depended on her being in that video as the president of the soccer association. So again, here we go. I wish they would stop doing this. Why is this a thing? Why is this a thing? And he's done it before. The last time, look at how the girl has grown. Look at there. Oh wait, I'm looking at the oh, there we go. You can see now she's she's older, and this was maybe a year ago. And yeah, well, it was July 7th compared to now, so yeah, so she's grown a bit. And there he is reading story time to her. And this is his words: over 30 hours of traveling worth it for this moment alone with my niece. Why am I feeling weird? Why am I feeling weird? Why are these kids, in my opinion, they're being used as props? Somebody make them stop doing this. It's as though they're a prop. And so let me get back to Carl. Carl, who loves to try to make the Sussexes the butt of the joke, right? He's always laughing at Harry and Meghan, right? Well, he got in trouble and he brought his daughter on television. Now, what do I mean by trouble? As I mentioned yesterday, today host Carl Stavanovich and Alison Langdon couldn't help but laugh at the title of Prince Harry's upcoming memoir, Spare. On Friday, Stavanovich was also joined on air by his toddler daughter, Harper, right? And then a couple of the comments, as you can see, yo, Carl, you should think twice before putting your toddler daughter in front of the world while you are mocking our Duchess Meghan in front of your daughter. Don't worry, because Sussex Squad won't mock your daughter, that is. We are not bad people, but you are a terrible dad. Keep on laughing. You're a bully enabler. And then at the bottom it says she looks embarrassed enough that her dad has it. I'm sorry. She looks embarrassed enough that he's her dad as it is. Imagine having such a hateful, misogynistic racist as a father. That is quite a few of the people that have gone after our Duchess. Well, this is why she's there. In my opinion, I am going to allege, and by the way, look at how uncomfortable his co-host appears, right? And we've seen this before, but let me continue. There you go. There you go. This is what I was speaking of yesterday, but I will share it with you now. I have the slide all ready to go. So it says here, TV breakfast host Carl Stavanovich embroiled in a police investigation into alleged assault. That's right. You heard me. An alleged assault. It continues. Oh, Lord. Let me see here. Oh, I'm sorry. You can see that print is very small. It's not baby boomer friendly print. But okay, today's show host Carl Stavanovich has been outed by media for an alleged assault which reportedly took place during a charity function in Brisbane. The 48-year-old attended an event in Newstead with his wife, Jasmine in August to help raise money for an awareness of melanoma. The Courier Mail reports that a waiter at the Mercedes Benz Cancer Gala claimed he was touched by Stefanovic and complained to the police. A Queensland Police Service news, I'm sorry, wait, one more time. A Queensland Police Service spokesman would not comment, but told the New Delhi police uh, were investigating a report of an alleged incident at the newsstand on that date, meaning Karl Stefanovic. Yes, Carl, I can't stop laughing, Stefanovic. So, oh, yes, yes. Karma, Stefanovic. You're okay, I can't rhyme that one. Um, yes, Stefanovic, you're a fool. Anyway, so he got in trouble. Now, this is what it reminds me of. I don't know what it is about that situation that reminds me of this situation. You see what I mean? It's like they know, she knows, right? I'm talking about the adult in orange, just like she knew and knows, right? They know. And they use them as their television wives, right? And meanwhile, and by the way, just for the record, um, Phil Phil uh, is married with children, and Stefanovic is also married with children. It's as though they went to public school, right? Um, Now, to be fair, I don't know that what Carl's personal life is like. He has only been accused. I don't believe that there was any conviction. I believe that he was given a warning by the popo, and that was the end of it. So I don't think he's gotten in any legal trouble, but he has been let off with a warning, as far as I can tell. But it's just very interesting how all of a sudden it's bring your daughter to work day, just so that people will know you're not that kind of a person. You're not that kind of television anchor, you know. And as I said, we've been here before. We have been here before. The Q jumpers, those two right there, same flavor, same flavor. They live in a different moral universe compared to most people because they're famous, they're overpaid, and they're on television, and they tend to get away with a lot. So for every time there has been a gala for whatever, and you find yourself hosting that gala, how many times has that accusation not been made, even though something possibly could have happened, right? Famous people get away with a lot of things, right? They get away with a lot of things. Every time you see a senator or a congressperson that has gotten in trouble for drunk driving or has gotten in trouble for something else inappropriate, and you find that they're all over the news, there's this big scandal. Imagine how many times that very same thing has happened or something similar, but they produced a business card that said so and so, member of the United States 100 and whatever Congress, and all of a sudden, all is forgiven. You know what I mean? They usually walk away or drive away. Same thing happens with people on television. They get away with so much more than they've ever been busted for. So I'm just saying that is the way these things usually go. Okay. Marshar, wait, there it is. It moved. Is a male witch full of black oozing poop. Nathan Dixon says, what is with these people? They're all that creeps, and but yet they all live in glass houses throwing stones. Like I said, I think it's because they get away with so much, and that emboldens them to go on to do the next thing and the next thing. And sometimes they feel that they are just too big to be brought down, and they lawyer up. They have those non-disclosure agreements signed and everything. There's so many ways, and then of course there's catch and kill. You sign over your legal right to talk about it. So, speaking of which, it has been speculated that the person who worked at This Morning with Phil and Holly may have very well signed over all rights to the story and everything, and that person is no longer, or at least the last time I heard, that young person is no longer on social media. All of their social media has been removed. That person seems to be very well paid and is not pursuing a career on television any longer. And so that may have been another form of catch and kill, where they had that person sign over anything about events. And it's a rich man's way out of trouble. If it was a poor person, and this is why I don't want to start an argument, so I'm not going to say the name of anyone, but there's a lot of famous people, and some of them are African Americans, that I felt they were guilty and they should have gotten in trouble. They should have paid the price. And the only reason that bothers me is not whether or not they're innocent or guilty, is because just like anyone else that's rich, you seem to be able to buy your way out of these things. And they buy their way out of trouble, and they keep doing the same thing that got them in trouble in the first place. And eventually, after that, eventually they end up going to jail or whatever, or having to pay someone off. And I'm just like, if you keep doing stupid stuff like that, when you walk the first time, when you walk the second time, when you walk the third time, stop doing what you're doing. You didn't bought your way out of it. Go sit down somewhere. I don't have any sympathy for someone who buys their way out of trouble, something I could never afford to do, but they buy their way out of trouble and then they do it again. That frustrates me. That really, really frustrates me. I don't care what color they are. That really frustrates me. You then bought your way out of something several times, and you keep doing what you did that got you in trouble in the first place. How many times are you going to do that? How many times are you going to lawyer up and pay off somebody's family instead of go sit down somewhere and stop? Obviously, what you were doing is not good for you. It's not good for anybody. Why do you keep doing it? I don't understand that. If you got a sickness, go get some help. But stop doing what you're doing. Especially if you're black. How many times you think they're going to let you buy your way out of something? Most of us don't get a chance to buy our way out, even when we have the money. But, some people, their fame transcends their color for a while, and they just keep doing it. I don't understand that. That always amazes me. I can't do something one time, let alone twice or 10 times before, I'm in trouble. But if I was rich and entitled and I could lawyer up, I can do all kinds of stuff and not worry about it. And that's what really gets me, is that the littlest thing, I can't even bounce a check. I can't even bounce a check. But not only can they bounce a check, they can bounce the whole bank and go home and sleep in their bed. I don't get it. Anyway, I got that off my chest. But yeah, if you're doing something that's getting you in trouble, stop. Go get some help. Okay, so what did people in Germany watch, read, and listen to in 2023? Um, Spare. So they spoke about movies. They spoke about what else? Music. But the only one I was interested in is Spare by Prince Harry. So German Embassy London, their Twitter account posted best-selling book in Germany in 2023, Reserve, Reserve, which of course means spare. It's interesting the way spare translates into other languages. But yeah, Spare was the number one book in Germany. So Marshar says black folks never get to buy their way out of stuff. Instead, their money would be taken and they go. Well, it's been a few of them that have bought their way out of stuff. But the thing is, they keep going back for more, and the next thing you know, their money ain't no good. But no, that's why I say I'm not going to say a name because that turns into an argument. But I could think of two right off the top of my head that has gotten away with more than the average bear because they transcended their race for about 10 minutes and they got in trouble. They bought their way out of it, and then they went back and got in trouble again and again and again. How much money are you going to pay before you go sit down somewhere? There's someone right now who got in trouble and managed to buy their way out of it that need to go sit down somewhere. I don't get that. If when something like that happens, you are supposed to stop having people over your house. You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to get into arguments. You're supposed to walk away and go to therapy. You know, don't start um, swinging on people. Go walk away. Go to your therapy. Um, but instead, nope, they just keep doing the same thing over and over. But that one time when they think it's going to be routine, they find out, well, we'll take your money, but we can't keep you out of trouble. So that's what I'm talking about. Let me see here. So yes, oh, that's the same thing. I forgot I did this twice, but yeah, it's here and then it's on the other one. And I think we're just about done, you guys. Let me see. Oh no, oh, you know what? I still got a bunch of stuff here. I haven't even talked about Crown yet. I got to talk about the Crown. Ugh, what was I thinking? Okay, I think I got about 10 slides left. All to do with the Crown because I got to drag this a little bit. 8 Reasons the Crown Season 6 Rotten Tomatoes is the Netflix show's worst, right? Season 6 is the worst. It's so bad that they make it look like Imelda Stanton has algae or um, what do you call it? Uh, uh, Bacteria growing behind her. That's how bad it is. It looks like she's covered in bacteria. Even her hair is green. So, um, The Crown season 6, part 1 is receiving the worst reviews yet with a 50. I did say we'd be out of here in about an hour, didn't I? It's an hour and a half, y'all. It's the worst reviews yet with 57% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, but the audience score is still higher at 94% due to the emotional examination of Princess Diana's last days. Season 6 of The Crown is criticized for being melodramatic and simplifying its characters with cheesy moments. I agree. I agree with that. The storytelling has also become redundant. I agree with that too. Constantly focusing on Diana's impending death. I agree with that. The show has been deemed too generous. Oh, this is most important. The show has been deemed too generous to the royal family, taking a pro monarchy stance and not being critical enough. I didn't broke my bell on that one. The spotlight has shifted away from Queen Elizabeth II in season 5 and 6 with minimal focus on her character. You know what? I don't really care. She had most of the whole thing anyway, so that's not a big deal. Now, take a look here. We're going to go from the least worst to the worst. So, this is what they focused on. The Crown season 6 is melodramatic. That's number 8. Number 7, The Crown is too generous to the royal family. Number 6, The Crown storytelling has gotten redundant. Number 5, Diana has engulfed the show. Number 4, The Crown season 6 has minimal focus on Elizabeth. Number 3, Diana's story isn't handled well at the end. Yes, I agree with that. Number 2, The Crown season 6 is boring. And number 1, Princess Diana appears after dying. The ghost of Diana was awful. The ghost of Diana actually takes you right back to number 7. The Crown is too generous to the royal family. The ghost of Diana appeared to forgive the Queen. The ghost of Diana appeared to forgive Charles. The ghost of Diana appeared to forgive Charles again. The ghost of Diana appeared so that Charles could be forgiven. Well, to be fair, the ghost of Diana only visited Charles one time, but it seemed like she visited him throughout the entire thing because everything about season 5 and season 6 was a vehicle to uplift and celebrate Charles and his achievements and to downplay Diana, to accuse Diana of working with the press, to accuse Diana of being responsible for the impending death. All of that, well, she played the game. She knew what she was getting into. The whole theme was sickening. It made me sick. Do you hear me? Sick! It just made me sick. It was very, very bad. I like to complete a series. I'm telling you, I have never told anybody this before. Do not watch it. It's awful. It is awful, awful, awful. The only thing that, okay, if you like the Queen, if you like the Queen, if you love the Queen, whatever, then I say watch the last scene where she's praying in church. That was very sweet and dramatic and very touching. But everything leading up to that, I promise you, makes you want to vomit. Projectile vomiting. I mean, you could just you could barf across the street, okay? You could barf in the sewer across the street. That's how far all of the contents of your stomach is going to fly watching this silly, nonsensical production. It was awful. It was some of the worst of anything I've ever seen on Netflix. It's the worst thing I've ever seen on Netflix. It really is bad. It's awful. It was bad. It was bad. Okay. I'm gonna tell you the truth. There was a certain portion of Will and Kate where my hand started fumbling around looking for the remote, and I started skipping through the relation between Will and Kate. They in no way depict those two dum-dums that we know so well. Kate was hardworking and smart, and she did not seem to want to chase after Will, but her mother convinced her she had a chance. Look at me. I married your father, and I'm a nobody from nowhere. I'm just a simple air hostess who managed to turn a party business into a multi-million-dollar company, even though it seems as though people have accused us of backing the company with Uncle Gary's pharmaceutical sales merchandise, but we call it party pieces because, well, that's legal. Anyway, I don't know where they got their money from, but I'm just saying it was pretty bad. Good night, Lady T. Um, and then, of course, there is this controversy. They went and found the goblin from Spider Man. They found the green goblin from Spider Man and dyed his hair red and called him Harry. That rather bizarre looking young man is supposed to be Harry. That very angular, sinister looking face is supposed to be Harry. And I do feel bad for the actor, I really do. But um, he's not Harry. The guy that's playing William, his teeth, yeah, I mean, he's giving me William. I can see William. William's eyes are larger, I think, but other than that, he definitely has the mannerism and everything. So I can see the William, but the Harry, aside from the hair, I don't see it. I don't see it. It's not to say that they have to look exactly like the real people, but and the other thing that bothered me about this character, did you notice that? Well, if you have seen it, every time Harry walks into a scene, he's either holding a wine glass or he's cracking open the beer. It's always, hey, Willy, you know, hey, Will. Everything is you hear a beer crack open. It seems, I mean, I know it was maybe only once or twice, but it seemed like it was just implied that if Harry walked into the scene, there was a can of beer cracking open. So yeah, it grated on my nerves. It really grated on my nerves. And also, I kind of feel like these two, they shouldn't have played William and Harry. They should have played Siegfried and Roy. Those two, for some reason, remind me more of Siegfried and Roy than they do Harry and his brother. I mean, I could just see them doing a Las Vegas act. If I was casting the Siegfried and Roy story, I would go get these two. I would go get them a language coach so that they can learn to speak with an Austrian accent or German accent. Get them a language coach and then cast them to play Siegfried and Roy. Yeah, I'm getting Siegfried and Roy energy from them. I could just see one of them being tossed and flung about in the jaws of a lion or tiger or whatever, just as easy as I could. Well, easier than I could see them playing Harry and his dim-witted, dumb, stupid brother. Yeah, yeah. I promise you, as soon as I saw that photo, I said, "Mother of Mary, that is Siegfried and flippin' Roy." Uh huh. They're not royal princes. They're a Las Vegas act. They went and found a couple of Las Vegas carny hustlers and cast them as Harry and his brother. I'm telling you, when I saw that, I'm like, I'm through, y'all. I'm through, through, through. I am through. I have nothing else to say about The Crown. The Crown is hopefully, it's like that when you enjoy a meal but yet you have something stuck between your teeth and you can't stop thinking about it. Well, these two are like a piece of gristle wedged between my few remaining teeth. I just can't stand it. I just can't. I just can't stand it. I can't. Good night, Elaine Parker. Thank you so much for being here. But yeah, such is Siegfried. What am I saying? Such is The Crown. I was about to say Siegfried and Roy. I'm sorry. I could not resist. I saw them and I said, let me see if I can find a photo. And the first photo, I promise you, the first photo I found, this was it. Siegfried and Roy. I said, that's it. I knew when I looked at them, I'm just like, that is flipping Siegfried and Roy. They have went and found a couple of Las Vegas animal trainers and cast them as Harry and Willy. I'm done. This is Harry. This is Harry. Not that and what about this Harry? Can you explain this Harry? Why is Harry wearing his daddy's pants? Why is Harry wearing his daddy's pants? Harry's pants look like they should be, taken in a bit. I don't under did they want him to look ridiculous? Was that the point? That William would and look at that William. That William looks like a sociopath. He really does. Well, then again, hold on a second. Let me see something. Let me see something. Okay. Uh, I almost dropped the S word. Okay, I see it. That's good casting. But Harry, this young man right here, looked like he ate too much chocolate. He looks like he needs to crap. It looks like he needs to go and take a crap. This poor kid is wearing his daddy's pants. I mean, I know that, and look at how the belt is going around him twice. The belt looked like it's going around him twice. YM Droid says Kate's wig could play the tiger. I wonder if that was supposed to be Kate. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Siegfried Roy and Kate's wig. Well, you know what? I have seen some of the hair that Kate has been wearing looks like it needs to be in a cage. It does. It looks like it should either be in a cage or return to its natural habitat. I can't help but think that there's a whole ecosystem out there suffering because Kate's wig is not in its natural habitat. You know what I'm saying? It's going to offset the balance of a rainforest. If they don't hurry up and get this hair back to its natural habitat, entire species are going to be wiped out. Yeah, entire species are going to be wiped out. So, yeah, you're right about that. You know, there's a couple of wigs that I've seen Kate wearing. It seemed like it should have had 3 toes sticking out of it. You know, some some of her wigs seem like it should have 3 toes on each limb, and slowly climbing up a tree. Slowly climbing up a tree. Yeah. Yep. How did Kate's wig cross the road? Very carefully, I suspect. Otherwise, let me stop. Let me stop. Let me see. They're trying to make Harry look very unattractive as possible in this show. We already know Harry is the best looking. Then his baldy, dopey brother. When I look at Harry, I see a real man. Here, here. Here, here. I agree. Dansby says, much money as they have, I can't understand why Kate's hair looks so bad. She could have the best hairstylist in England. You know, she probably, the thing is, the thing is, and I'm being all very serious when I say this. One time Oprah had a show, and she was saying that she noticed that the more weight she gained, the bigger her hair, the bigger the earrings, the bigger the clothes. Everything was bigger. And then when she lost weight, you know, things were not so exaggerated. And I think with Kate, the older she gets, the bigger the hair. As she has gotten older, she is covering more with her hair. So, yeah, no shade, but I think that Kate is compensating for her age by uh, using more hair. That's what it seems like to me. So, as they say, recollections may vary, but I feel as though they're overcompensating. So, just my opinion. Okay. Let me see here. Let's see if I can find a recent. Okay, right here. I mean, look at all that hair. That is a lot of hair. She rarely pulls her hair away from her face these days. You can see Crown Princess Victoria, she's got her hair pulled back, but oh, you missed the caption there. Let me do that so you can see the caption. Poor Princess Victoria is not sure what to do. Of course, she's being ignored by these two. And then maybe this guy can help. Oh my God, she's stuck behind Kate's hair extensions. Willy is talking about earthshotting Kate the early years. Well, that'll take a while. Victoria just noticed the extensions and now she's pretending. She just noticed them extensions and now she's looking up at the ceiling. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Lonnie Anderson on WKRP in Cincinnati. Remember how Lonnie Anderson used to have that hair all over her eyes and everything? She's doing the exact same thing. That's too much hair, especially for that hour. That's too much hair. Anyway, let's get back to poor Harry wearing his daddy's pants. It seemed like you could see right there he's trying to hold his pants up. He's doing everything he can to try to hold them pants up because they're not his pants. Those pants probably belonged to one of the servants. That's what happened. Rather than buy him some new clothes, they went and dug around in the servant quarters and said, "Here, put these on." Whose are they? One of the gardeners. Just put them on. Now, okay, yeah, there you go. The New York Times, the best and worst and dumbest of the 6 seasons of The Crown. As the Netflix series depicting the royal family concludes, it's time to hand out some superlatives. Well, you know, I don't know what a superlative is, but I suppose if you're having irregularities, then a superlative is just what's needed to ease your discomfort. So, I think I got a superlative in my medicine cabinet, to be honest with you. I'm not embarrassed. Anyway, and then, of course, The Guardian, The Crown Season 6 review. So bad is basically an out of body experience. I agree with that. It was so bad. I felt like I felt like I was not inside my body for a while there. I felt like the Queen felt when that black woman hugged her. Remember how her soul, I said, looked like her soul jumped out of her body? Well, that's what happens when you watch season 6 of The Crown. You feel like your soul is leaving you. Lizette, hey Lizette, thank you so much for being here. And thank you for being a member. Now, should you watch it? No, don't watch it. And with that, you guys, take a look at this. Could you imagine hanging this on your Christmas tree? Could you imagine hanging this on a street lamp? Could you imagine hanging this on a ficus tree? Where would you put an ornament like this? This is not a reject from the company that produced these. This is what they were sending to the customers. That, ladies and gentlemen, is Willy. That is a Christmas ornament that is supposed to depict Prince William. Now, the only thing that I've ever seen that looked worse than this is actually, this is worse than the wax figure that they have. For some reason, Prince William does not translate at Madame Tussauds. He looks weird. Everything he looks weird. Right here, he looks weird. But this would scare people. If you put this on your Christmas tree, I guarantee your cat will probably start hissing and arching his back. Your dog will not come into the living room anymore. And I suppose most children would never return to your house again. That's how bad it looks. Still too much hair. I mean, wait, too much hair. Okay. Do you? Thank you, Legs. Yeah, but that is frightful. That is frightful. You know how they say, "Oh, the weather outside is frightful." Well, that ornament is frightful, and that's in the house. I tried to find this and I could not. Daily Express removed an article about Charles flop coronation documentary being propaganda and fluff. Tell me whose PR team works harder. Everything they blame on Harry and Meghan always comes back to them. So apparently, they wrote an article about how ridiculous the um, the Coronation documentary was, and how it was a big flop. And well, nobody can find it because the Express must have got a phone call and they removed it. So when you try to find it, you get an error report. This page you requested could not be found. There could be an error in the URL you entered into your browser. Please check the spelling and try again. In other words, the palace called and we had to remove it. End of story. And lastly, just over 1 year ago, Harry and Meghan premiered, and it was the biggest documentary launched in Netflix history. If you haven't seen it yet, find it on Netflix. I just started the docuseries over again today, so I am going to watch all of it again, and then after that, I'm going to go through Spare again. So, Connie Balmer! Hey, Connie Balmer, I was just wrapping up for today. Oh, there you are. I was just wrapping up for today, but thank you so much for being here on Royal Sussex. And I'm going to say good morning to you and good night to others. Thank you all so much. I really do appreciate you all being here. And I will see you all tomorrow. And let me see. Yes, it is horrifying. That is scary. Oh, that's scary. It is frightful. And to think there are people who will buy that and hang it from their tree with care, even though it could be the last time that they ever see their dog. I mean, this would cause a dog to jump through a window and run into the forest, never to be seen or heard from again. Yeah, that's what this would do. And I'm afraid some house cats will attack this thing. They will attack it. This would be a good excuse for the cat to knock over the Christmas tree. You know how cats always knock over the Christmas tree? I think this would definitely cause someone to lose their Christmas tree. This is something that should be taken. As a matter of fact, this is the Ark of the Covenant. This should go into a box, into a warehouse filled with other top secret governmental treasures and yeah, scary stuff. Yeah, this is a really bad voodoo doll. Okay, so you guys, I am so done tonight. Thank you very much. And thank you to the moderators for, as usual, keeping this a safe space, the safest space in all of the Sussex friendly world. All right. So thank you. Love you guys. Helene Groen, thank you so much. Did you just get here? Let me see. Become alive. Oh, I would be terrified. I would come alive. I'm sorry. It would come alive to peg me to death. Ah, that is so funny. That is so funny. Thank you for that. Okay, so thank you all for hanging in there. I'm going to try to go on earlier tomorrow. I promise I'm going to try. I'm going to do my best to go on earlier tomorrow. Christmas has pushed everything back again, but I'm hoping to try to do around 6 or 7 p.m. Central. So we'll try that for tomorrow, I hope. And yeah, so thank you. And as the Duchess would say, no bad energy. That will be our last word for the day, is no bad energy. And thank you to all of the supporters. And let me see, Laverne Showers, Church Nelly with 28 months, Elaine Parker, Super Sticker, YM Droid Super Chat, Cat Harlem Super Chat, and Cat Harlem another Super Chat. Yeah. And YM Droid Super Chat, Legs, Cheryl Bennett Super Sticker, not sticker, a sticker. Yeah, I need to go. Okay. I got to get out of here. My words are being jumbled now, so probably time to go. Okay. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see. All right. It was 8 a minute ago, but then Cheryl Bennett made it 9. Thank you very much, Cheryl Bennett. Thank you very much. And thank you for supporting Royal Sussex. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe, Royal Sussex. Let me see how many subscribers do we have now. Oh, okay. 48,786. Very cool. So yes, please do subscribe. 48,786. By tomorrow, it could be 49,000. We'll see. Okay, we are good. So I love you guys. I will see you tomorrow. And remember, don't worry about the Sussex family. Because there is a force of nature that is there at the house with them, and that, of course, is the rock of the Sussex family. And looking over the Sussexes in the spiritual realm, there is the People's Princess. So they are definitely in good hands. And, of course, There's all of these Sussex Squad people praying for them. And of course, all of the fact checkers in YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and whatever other mediums. But yes, there's a lot of people that are actively fact checking and not letting the institution or the Royal Rota get away with their lies. So very, very important. All right, so I will see you all tomorrow, and let's end with Madam Duchess. We will close today with Madam Duchess.